Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the introduction, and I'm delighted to be here to join and speak FinTech Taipei this year again. And yeah, as you introduced, my name is Takeshi Kito, representing GFTN Japan, and a brief introduction of GFTN. GFTN is it's kind of a non-profit organization headquartered in Singapore and initiated by MAS, the Singaporean regulator. But I am now running the Japanese entity and building the fintech ecosystem in Japan in collaboration with many stakeholders in the Japanese financial market. So followed by Alex's presentation, let me briefly introduce our experience and our landscape in the digital asset in Japan. So first of all, I'd like to introduce the history. So I think everything was started in 2014 and the Mt. Gox incident, as many of you already know. So this was the huge incident in the financial market. And in response to this incident, kind of crisis in Japan, our regulator, JFSA, introduced a Payment Service Act amendment. It's for digital assets and payment instruments related amendments. So it was in 2017. Then I think JFSA is one of the first movers in the digital asset regulation and introduced the clear classification of payment instruments in the digital asset world and started regulating crypto exchanges as well. And after that, in 2018, JBCEA, so crypto exchange or cryptocurrency exchange association was established. It's a self-regulatory body and regulating the market as a private sector, from the private sector perspective. Then in 2019, JFS introduced security token regulation and followed by the establishment of a JSTO association. So it's a security token offering association. So at that moment, we saw many ICOs and STOs in the market, so JFSA wanted to regulate the market. So, and after this announcement in 2020, this regulation was enforced. So this is an amendment of Financial Instrument Exchange Act. So different from payment regulation, it's more like a capital market regulation. So this was a regulatory framework for security tokens, and after that, many Japanese issuers and exchanges introduced and executed transaction in the capital markets and security token offerings. And followed by Payment Service Act amendments in 2023, then this is stablecoin regulation. So 2 years ago, JFSA introduced a clear framework for stablecoin. So let me talk about the details. So if the stablecoin is pegged to fiat currency, it's regulated by under Payment Act. But if it's controlled by some kind of algorithm, it's regulated under the capital markets regulation. So FIEA regulation. And recently this year, JFSA also announced amendments of the Payment Services Act. It's for the brokerage rule because crypto exchanges is a little bit strictly regulated under the existing regulation. But some companies or some exchanges who don't have a kind custody function that can have a lighter regulatory frameworks, regulated lighter. So this is a recent progress. So let me explain why it matters in the 2017 amendment, because this was the initial crypto exchange in Japan, and it defined crypto asset as a means of payment. So it allows the payment using digital assets under regulated conditions. So from that time, if the merchant accepts digital asset or crypto payment, it worked. So people can use the cryptocurrencies like a Bitcoin to pay for anything. And also, this formed the regulatory or legal basis for stable coins and the security token market as well, and settlement as well. And also, this is kind of set AIM and KYC standard, as well as exchange, crypto exchange registration standard. So it was, I believe, a big change in the Japanese fintech market. Then security token, as I introduced, it was in 2020. So these security token regulations legalized digital securities, such as security tokens. And this is basically regulated by the existing Financial Instrument Exchange Act. So financial institutions and exchanges has already clear understanding of this regulation. So they applied this regulation to the existing financial transaction in the capital markets and security tokens. So this regulation covers the corporate stocks and bonds, as well as tokenized real assets and real world assets, real estate as well. So after this announcement of the regulation, we already had many use cases in tokenizing, securitizing real estate and bonds in the Japanese market. Right. And the ecosystem development is not all about regulation, but it's in collaboration with the public sector as well. So financial institutions like SBI and Osaka Digital Exchange and Nomura, this kind of security brokers, they have been leading the market development. They are bringing STO infrastructure and also some use cases. And on the issuer side, real estate companies and some corporates are trying to issue and offer the security token in the market. So this is also helping the market development. And the last point is the sandbox, because there are still some issues on the regulatory or legal side. I will explain later on. But the regulatory sandbox also helps to implement this regulatory framework for finality and a timestamp with the regulators. So this is the detailed one. So in addition to security token and crypto regulation, we also face the regulatory opposability. This is regulated under civil law. So the timestamp is under the finality was the issue. So blockchain provides a technical transfer, but also law must ensure this enforceability. So the Japanese regulatory sandbox is under the Prime Minister, not a financial regulator. And it tested the digital timestamp and validity and the DVP for security tokens. So this kind of public-private collaboration also accelerates the market development in the digital asset world and the space. Okay. And next is self-regulatory bodies. As Alex also mentioned, this is also important to develop the market. So, and we have two self-regulatory bodies. One is for crypto exchanges, and the other one is the security token offerings, as I mentioned previously. So they are certified and regulated by JFSA regulator, and this public-private collaboration is it's really important to keep the ecosystem developing, and also yes, providing some space for the private sector players to transform the ecosystem by themselves. And then stablecoins. So Japanese approach is as shown on the slide. So the JFSA introduced a new category. It's electronic payment instruments, and also its exchange. So it's a little bit different framework, but this approach is a kind of comprehensive approach to cover and to regulate the entire digital assets, stablecoin, payment token transactions. So this service provider handles sales, exchange, and intermediation and custody of stablecoins. And banks, fund transfer providers, and trust banks can issue yen or fiat-backed stablecoins in Japan. So this ensures the functional transparency and also consumer protection as well. So let me introduce one case study, and this is recently announced, but they have been in operation since 2021. And initially, they started their stablecoin as a prepaid payment instrument token. But after getting a license from JFSA this year in August, they are offering the stablecoin as a payment token. So some e-commerce players and banks adopted, and they are now working with some pilots and POCs to provide more use cases in the market. And then brokerage intermediation. So as I mentioned, not only exchanges, our market regulator is introducing the brokerage and intermediary frameworks to bring more players in the market and to provide more liquidity in the market as well. So summarizing today's topic, so this is a conference in Taiwan and with many Asian stakeholders. Let me share some strengths and gaps. So for the strength side, Japan provided the legal clarity in the market. So after the introduction of crypto exchange regulation, we have more than 30 exchanges in the Japanese market. So the clarity is key to have more collaboration and more players in the market and its development as well. And also, self-regulatory organization, it's co-leading the ecosystem with the regulator. So it's really important to the market development. And on the gap side, in Japan, cross-border payment and cross-border transactions is still challenging because unlike ASEAN region, we don't have that Project Nexus kind of multilateral cross-border payment framework. So we need to develop more cross-border collaboration with other regulators, especially in this Eastern Asian market. So, and as Alex mentioned, there are still many unregulated markets, so we can collaborate for that market to introduce or export some models and regulatory frameworks and also market practices as well. Okay, so this is the last summary. So the regulator, our JFSA, positioned its kind of innovation enabler through this kind of refinement. And also public-private sector's collaboration is very important to the market development. And self-regulatory bodies, they are playing an important role in the market. And also sandbox, also it's needed to provide more practical framework and also regulatory clarity outside of the financial regulations and laws. So this is all for my presentation, and I'm looking forward to the further discussion with all of our panelists and the moderator. Thank you very much.